Okay, let's just dive right in. We've all been there, right? You're sitting across the table from a family member, you're trying to talk about something important, and it feels like you're talking to a brick wall. Well, today, we're going to talk about why that happens and, more importantly, how to actually tear that wall down.
And it so often starts with a phrase just like this one. You know the feeling. You're stuck in a conversational loop, having the exact same argument you've had a dozen times before, and it is going absolutely nowhere.
And then the gap just gets wider. All of a sudden, it feels like you're not even speaking the same language anymore. It's a total communication breakdown, and you can just feel the frustration building on both sides.
And finally, you get the shutdown. The conversation just ends. Not with any kind of understanding, but with a statement that slams the door on any more discussion. It can feel completely impossible.
So this whole feeling, let's give it a name. Let's call it the communication wall. It's that invisible barrier that just pops up the second a topic gets sensitive. The big question we have to ask is, why is that wall even there to begin with?
What if I told you it isn't just about them being stubborn? What if it's actually something much, much deeper? Turns out, what we're running into is a powerful, deep-seated psychological defense mechanism that our brains use to protect themselves.
And here's what it's called: cognitive closure. See, our brains crave a clear, fixed, definite answer to things. And once our brain locks onto an answer it likes, it just stops searching. It literally closes up shop to any new, conflicting information, because dealing with all that uncertainty creates anxiety.
So why does this feel like such a solid wall, especially with family? Well, for one, think about it. Their long-held beliefs come from years of experience that probably kept you safe. So to them, those beliefs feel like a fortress. And on top of that, as we all get older, uncertainty just feels more and more threatening, so we cling to what we think we know. But here's the real kicker. Their advice is often tied directly to their identity, to their self-worth as a parent. So when you challenge their advice, they don't just hear your idea is wrong, they hear you are wrong.
So, how in the world do we get past this wall without just making it taller and thicker? Well, let's start with our very first tool. It's a simple, but I mean incredibly powerful shift in how you use your words. It's called the I statement.
Just look at the difference here. It's night and day. The stuff on the left, those are you statements. They're basically accusations, and they automatically trigger that defensive wall to go straight up. But the ones on the right, they shift the entire focus. I statements aren't about blame, they're about explaining your experience. See how "you're making me angry" just starts a fight? But "I feel angry when this happens" actually opens a door for them to understand you. It is a total game changer.
Okay, so how do you actually do this in the real world? It's pretty much a four-step process. First, and this is crucial, take a timeout. You can't communicate clearly when you're seeing red. Then, take a second to reflect on why you care so much. It's almost always out of love or concern, right? Step 3, set your goal. Your mission is to connect, not to win the argument. And finally, you build your sentence. Start it with your own experience. This whole approach neatly sidesteps their cognitive defenses and actually opens a path to empathy. Of course, talking is only half the battle. So the other half of our toolkit, and you could argue it's the more powerful half, is learning how to listen in a totally new way. This is the art of active listening. Now here is the secret sauce. This is so important. Active listening lets you make someone feel heard, respected, and validated without you having to agree with them. You're not saying "you're right," you're just saying "I hear you." You're acknowledging that their perspective is valid to them, which brings their defenses way, way down, all without you giving up your own position.
And the effect this has is, it's huge. I mean, you can literally watch someone's defensiveness just start to melt away when they feel truly heard. It helps you uncover what they're really trying to say. Is it about respect, security, connection? It builds trust, and over time, it can change the entire communication culture in your family. And if we want to get really good at uncovering those deeper needs, we can level up our active listening by borrowing a technique from philosophy, of all places. It's called the Socratic method. Now, don't let the fancy name scare you. It's just the art of using gentle, curious questions to help someone explore their own beliefs, instead of just attacking them head-on.
So this brings us to a really practical challenge for you. Think about it. When a family member says something like, "My way is the only way that works," your gut reaction is to argue, right? But what if instead you turn that statement into a question? You could ask, "That's really interesting. What was it about doing it that way that made it work so well for you in the past?" See the difference? You're not fighting them, you're inviting them to reflect. So when you start to combine these two things, using I statements when you talk and using active Socratic listening when you listen, something really fundamental starts to shift. You actually begin to change the entire goal of the conversation itself.
Let's be honest, most of us go into these tough conversations with one unconscious goal: to prove that we're right and they're wrong. We want to win, but as we've just seen, that approach only builds that communication wall higher.
So, the new goal is this. It is no longer about being right, it's about staying connected. The real victory isn't winning a point in an argument. The real win is making sure that after the conversation is over, your relationship is stronger, not weaker.
So I want to leave you with this question. Think about one of those recurring, difficult conversations in your own life. What do you think would happen if, the next time it comes up, you went into it deciding that your goal wasn't correction, but connection? How might that one single shift change everything?